Hi, this is Walter Lesh. Welcome to another episode of Online in Rocky River and Beyond. Today, in episode 5, we'll take a look at how to find lost files. Finding lost files is not the same thing as recovering deleted files. That might be another episode. So, today it's about where do you think it is? Is it connected to network storage and you're no longer connected to that? Could it be on removable storage and that's not connected anymore? Is it something that is in the cloud and are you still connected to whatever space you were connected to before? Did someone else move it? Did you ever get somebody saying, hey, did you get that file that I sent to you? And you think to yourself, I have no idea. Ask them questions about it. What do you know about the file or files? Or is it all pictures? Can you type part of the name of it? Do you remember specific text that was in it or the author's name? All of those things can be helpful. One easy thing to check are the recent lists or the jump lists that you find throughout Windows 10. One way to check is if the icon is on the taskbar at the bottom, simply right-click on the icon and you will see a recent list of files, right? Anything that'll keep and keep track of files, you'll see a recent list for that when you right-click on it. If it doesn't have a recent list, it won't appear in that right-click. You can also right-click on those icons anywhere within the Start menu. So if I go to the Start menu and I right-click on Excel, which is here as a tile, when I right-click, I see that same recent list in my list of recently used files. Same thing if I go down to the file or the icon here. Here's Excel here. When I right-click, same list. So whether it's on the taskbar, whether it's a tile, or whether it's an icon in my list of programs, I can get to that recent list of files just like as if I were in the program. If I start the program, I have a recent list here in the back office view here before I would go out and make a document or open one. Another way that I can use the Start menu is independent really of whether I have a search box on the taskbar. So when I click in the Type Here to Search box on the bottom left next to the Start button, it opens up a search interface. Notice the tabs at the top. I have different tabs here to search different areas. And I also have a kind of recent activities list under this. And I can type a search here. Let's say I'm searching for outline. So I typed outline in the search box and I find all of these different outlines for the episodes that I've been doing for Online in Rocky River and Beyond. So that's one thing I can do. I can also in this use parts of names. So I typed OUT and it starts to find things, but once I get to a certain amount, it will find hopefully the same kinds of files. So I didn't have to type the full word outline. I can also use something called wildcards. A wildcard is something that takes the place of something else. Like in cards, when you play cards, a wildcard can take the place of any other numbered or face card. And I can do that with an asterisk in many search interfaces. So I'm going to type Shift 8, which is asterisk, and now it finds anything that has OUT and then whatever comes after that. So I can use wildcarding in there. Now, sometimes you don't have that search box, right? It's the same thing. If you don't have the Cortana search box on your taskbar, simply click on Start. See what happened when I clicked on Start? It's blinking in that search box. Even if it's not there, all I have to do then is start typing, and I will find results the same way. So even if your search box is not there, you can still click on Start, type, and see results. That's using the search interface through the taskbar or simply by clicking Start and then typing. Probably the best tool that we have for searching on a PC is the File Explorer app. And that's a yellow folder that's on my taskbar. I simply click it, it opens up, and it's made up of 3 large areas. The top part across the entire top is the ribbon. And on the left-hand side, I have the big containers that are attached to my machine. On the right-hand side is the contents of whatever container I've clicked on the right-hand side. And I also have a search box up here that I can click in and type in a search. I decided to put a folder on my desktop and search that because if I were going to search my entire PC, it could take a long time. So I didn't want to sit here and twiddle my thumbs and look at you while it was searching. So I'm in folder to explore now, and I want to point out that I can change my perspective of what I'm looking at simply by going to the View tab and then selecting one of these other layouts. Details is my favorite though because Details has headings at the top. And anybody that's used email for a long time knows that our email inboxes used to have headings like this, like date, sender, title, size, attachment, or not. And that allowed us to sort the contents of the inbox simply by clicking on a heading. And that's what you can do in Details view. If I want to sort what I'm seeing here from A to Z, I just click name and it sorts it from A to Z. If I click name again, it sorts it from Z to A. Same thing with date modified. Oldest to newest, newest to oldest. Type would put group different kinds of files together by their type. And then size, smallest to largest, largest to smallest. You get the idea. If I right click in that space, anywhere along that space, I get a list of other headings that I can add to that strip. And I can also click on more and add any number that I want from these, I don't know, 100 other headings that are possible to search with, or to sort with, I should say. So I can, depending on the kinds of files, if it's pictures, I might want to know what the f-stop was on the camera, so I can actually sort by that if I add that heading to this list. Okay, so that's about Details view and how to sort by headings, which can help you find things that way. The biggest part is searching, of course, and everything I said about searching with the taskbar applies here. I can use parts of names, I can use wildcards, things like that. But my favorite part is what happens when you start searching a search. I type the word work and it gives a list of things that it's already seeing in there. If I press enter, it searches for the word work. It shows me where it is in here. Right? All of these things must have the word work in it somewhere. And what I like about this is that when I entered that search, I get a new tab at the top of File Explorer called Search. And it has various tools on it that can help me in my endeavor to find my lost file. Even if I exit out that search and I go back to looking at everything again. Right? Now, in here, I've got all of these different commands up here. I have recent searches, so it shows me the searches I've done recently. I have advanced options. If I want to look inside my system files, into the Windows stuff, I could search in there. I could even search in zipped folders, compressed folders, by checking the box to turn that on. I can also save a search. So if there's a search I find myself doing all the time, I can save a search criteria and just click there and find things that I've done before. I've got different kinds of properties. What kind of file was it? Was it a movie? I just click movie and it looks for things. If I look for documents, it's going to find all the Word files, Excel files, things like that. Was it big or small, right? Search for big or small files over here. I do have to X what I had here, though, in order to, or otherwise I would add that as another criteria. It was a big Excel file, right? I can search for that using these controls up here at the top. Here we are taking a look at an old stripped down Android device. Android devices are a little harder to search simply because Google at one point put in a way to do a system-wide search with your Android device, and they kind of abandoned that in favor of allowing app developers to create file searching tools. And so you might have to go out and find a file explorer, so to speak, to use on your Android device. In this case, the device from Samsung came with a tool that is under the apps list. So when I go in there, there's a tool that says, there's a group that says tools, and when I touch that and open it, there is an app in here called My Files. In this case, it came with the device. So when I open that up, it has some different categories for looking for things. There is a search box, and I could type something in there and look for things that way, or I could browse through the categories that it shows, for instance, images, come back out and do downloads. You can see I've taken almost everything off of this device, so there isn't much in here. But it does find whatever are under these categories, and I can see that I have a Google Drive account that it's not signed into right now. So that's that issue of, am I still connected to the thing I'm trying to find? It shows how much internal storage I have left. So it's a simple app that helps me either type in a search for a specific thing or browse categories for things. So here I've got one item under music that I can go and find there. I can easily search any Apple device using the basic search method, which is simply to go to a blank area and swipe down with your finger. It opens up the search interface. Here we can see I have a keyboard, and on my keyboard I can start typing a search. Right, so I'll type OUT, and you can see that it brings up a list of searches. It shows what application might match my search and other websites that I could look into. So all of these methods are kind of combined in Apple's search interface to be what they might call a system-wide search. This works on an iPhone or an iPad, any handheld device from Apple. It kind of works that way. So they have what's called a system search simply by flicking down with your finger. Hey, thanks for watching today's episode of Online in Rocky River and Beyond. Don't forget to sign up for some of our virtual events this fall. Go to rrpl.org and look at the calendar under events. You can sign up for training events starting September 1st for the month. Thank you.